My name is Ocean Gross, and I've helped scale multiple companies past 8 figures, and I'm here to help you do the same thing. What do billionaires know that you don't know because they have access to the same 24 hours in every single day that you do? And in this video, I'm going to show you how you can ascend the value ladder to increase your dollar per hour amount so that you can make more money for every unit of time that you have. Now, the way that I do that is I'll go through and analyze my calendar and make sure that I'm always working on the most high leverage or high value things. Now, some people call this the value ladder, but I call it something a little bit different just because value ladder is mostly in terms of ascending a product, and that's not what this is. So I would say this is the dollar per hour ladder. Let's start with number one, which is product or service delivery. So that would mean you are just stuck in doing the thing that you are selling. So that could be if you are an HVAC technician, you are working on the heating, HVAC, cooling units, that kind of thing. And so if you're doing that, more than likely you have low leverage. The value that you can provide is not as high, so because there's only one of you. So how do you find ways to duplicate yourself? Then you can try to say, how do I duplicate myself? Great question. What I like to do is I like to track my time and see what am I spending it on, and then what can I outsource? Usually I'll say, let's say I make $100 an hour and I have a task that is worth a quarter of that. So if it's a $25 an hour task and it's on my calendar, I like to outsource it as soon as possible. And then that scales. So the more money that you make per month, the quicker that you can scale it. Let's assume that you have a 40-hour work week and you're making $10,000 a month. That would mean your dollar per hour rate is around $64, 63. So if that's the case, then take a quarter of that and say, all right, if it's under this amount, I'm going to send it over to someone else. I'm going to delegate it to someone else who is at that hourly rate. So that's an example of product or service. So that brings us to the next level, which is working on operations and process. So that would be taking the strategy of all the people who are delivering the product or service and being in control of how they do their process as well as how people operate together. That's a great example of this would be, let's say I was just selling a service, but now I'm selling the same same industry. I'm selling HVAC, but I'm also mostly in here's how to speed up your AC installs by 30% or something. That would save people money. That's an example of an operations or process that you are working to improve rather than just installing the thing or delivering on the product or service yourself. Which leads us to the next level, which is integrated strategy. So what is an integrated strategy? Integrated strategy would be, and I kind of ran out of room there, but integrated strategy is how do all of these operations processes move together? So let's just say that you have multiple parts of a business. You have marketing, sales, fulfillment, and then some sort of operation unit that helps with like finance, taxes, legal, that kind of thing. All of that is in operations. The product or service of those different industries, so if you're in marketing, you're in the marketing department, that would mean you are responsible for putting the ads on the channels or filming the ads or scripting the videos. That would be an example of product or service. Operations or process is how do I change the process in which whatever my business unit is delivered or organized. Integrated strategy is where you take multiple different parts of the business, so marketing, sales, and operations, and then how do I figure out how they work together well and improve the processes and systems between them. That's an example of integrated strategy. And how you can focus on the things that will be worth more money because you have more leverage. Because if you're working on integrated strategy, you're not just worried about, let's just say that you were in only the marketing department or only in the sales department. Now you're figuring out how do I combine and integrate my skills to make sure that both marketing, sales, and operations are all working together, in which case you are now responsible for 3 separate teams at least of their results. So meaning your dollar per hour rate goes up because of the leverage that you have. You are now responsible for multiple people's results instead of just one when you are in delivering that product or service. The next part would be after I've integrated all of the channels together and worked on that is organization or leadership. And so what I mean by organizational leadership is leadership is how people work together, who you're hiring, how you hire them. And so going about organization and leadership, this is a completely different beast altogether. This would be like, let's say that you had a really weak marketing department in your HVAC company, but you didn't want to go hire an agency because that's a mistake sometimes. So instead, what you did is you went out and bought a marketing company that markets for HVAC companies. That would be an example of an organization or leadership move that you can make in order to expand and better your own company. Or who do I hire and how do I hire them? What is my mission, vision, and values, so that all of my integrated strategies, my operations and processes, and product and service delivery can be in line with each other. That's an example. And so you can see this has cascading effects of each thing affects all of the items on the list under it. And so that is what it means to ascend the value ladder and be able to make more money. So to tie it back in, billionaires often focus on organizational changes in leadership. That could be buying a business or selling a part of their business or integrating new assets. And you'll notice this also looks like a little bit of an org chart. So if you look at a traditional org chart of a business or an accountability chart, you'll see on the bottom people who are actually delivering the service, and then people who are in charge of the operations or process. This would be like a manager. And then integrated strategy, this would be maybe like your vice presidents. And then organizational leadership, this would be more like your C-suite team. So you can see as you move up here in the value ladder, you can start to raise your dollar per hour amount. So this is how you can focus on your own business or working with other businesses that you're selling to. Instead of just serving a product or delivery, you're moving up and being responsible for more and more changes in the organization. Hopefully this helps. And if you like this video, you'll probably also like this video as well.